The funny thing is, 1792, or 1791, there was a change in law here in Ireland. It penalised distilling, but it favoured brewing. By 1814, the 3 Waterford distilleries had gone bust. As a consequence of that law, this brewery was built, and 201 years later, it's been converted back into a distillery. So what goes round comes round.
You won't see me here.
It's a great opportunity for me personally to develop myself, and I mean, I have a great, I suppose, love of the place, and to come back and recreate something that my dad done before me. It's just, for me, it's super.
Everybody is extremely excited. Over the moon. You should have seen us here yesterday. We were all here till 8 o'clock last night.
So we're just going to have a sort of wander around to see how things are going in preparation.
Oh, shite.
In preparation. That's one less thing to worry about.
Sample out of the mash tun. So it's to see, want to check it to see if it's converted yet.
They're all looking a bit worried, you know, aren't they?
We're looking for it to stay brown, not turn black. So we need to leave it for another half an hour, I'd say, so that the enzymes would have that little bit longer to work on. Chomp it down the start and converting it into sugar.
You just take the sample before we send it up. Make sure she's okay.
You can't really change the weight of the spirit, and that is derived by the form of the shape of the still. But obviously the wash that goes in and what that's made from, the barley and where that comes from, will of course be a whole different kettle of fish, so to speak. Kettle of fish? Well, kettle.
There's a bit of an art in setting up this mill, the mill gap. It's a bit of a black art.
Everyone has their own little ways of doing it.
We thought this part would give us the most trouble.
Setting the mill gap now so that we get the correct grind through the mill, and it's a balance between fine and coarse. We don't want it too coarse or too fine because it'll affect the filtrability of the mash.
It's basically combining 2 processes, plus doing it without the presence of oxygen.
As we're going through from week to week, because it's from farm to farm, we're going to have to try and fine-tune each particular farm's malt because it'll all be slightly different. So the only variable during each milling and mash into the mash tun is the mill gap.
Personally, for me, it's been great as well because I was heavily involved in the site's previous resurrection. This site was a brewery until 2002 and was converted to be a concentrate manufacturing facility, which has some brewing equipment but has a lot of unusual equipment associated with that.
And then behind me we've got the mash filter, is where we're getting the wort from the draft.
So the compressed air goes through them and it expands the membrane, squeezing the cake in the filter.
There are clear works, so you can see how clear it is through the mash filter. That's our filter decompressing now, so we'll be opening it now in a minute. And then we chain lock here, pulls each plate back one at a time, cake drops off and is removed.
And then the draft is ejected out the back of the distillery and goes off to cattle feed for farmers. The biggest worry I always had was this mash filter, this very cool piece of kit, and the hydromill. Always slightly worried that we wouldn't get high enough specific gravities. We worry no longer, and we had the opposite, we had too high.
Ideally for faults, you can click on the alarms and it tells you the previous faults, where before you had to just go fault finding and it was literally knowledge of the plant, where now it actually tells you.
By cooling the fermentation, we can extend it from 2 days to 3 days to 4 days to 5 days and get ever more pure flavours. Trouble was, yesterday it broke.
We had issues with the VSDs. The VSDs on both pumps failed
a pump broke, and so therefore the temperature rose. You could see it. You can see what happens when you don't cool the stuff down. It's a good demonstration of what we're trying to avoid. As a brewery, this was running for 10 years, but we've sort of changed the emphasis a bit. So we've sort of got to relearn it all again, work out what the optimum settings and ratios are.
Speed of the water coming in is too fast for what the pump on the other side is taking it away. So again, it's a fine-tuning piece. Yeah, you don't want that. While it's not strong works, it is extracts.
You know, Ned seems confident.
Smells good, doesn't it?
Smells good, yeah. No, it's all good stuff at the moment, honey, yeah. And we're going well.
Nothing's blown up, so...
Nothing's blown up, no. And once I get a cup of tea, I'll be happy.
They all seem confident. Well, a lot more confident than I am.
It hasn't turned black, it's just brown. I think that's gone. Good to go?
Yeah. You know, everything can be sampled at every stage of process. You can see on your SCADA, your temperatures, your pressures, you have your flow transmitters. So I mean, you have a great insight into what's happening.
You know what's happening as it happens. You can ask questions, you know, which is very, very exciting.
Going well now, going well. We're on the verge, we're on the cusp.
This is the moment of truth. This is when we all pack up and go home, or when we actually make or the first step of making whiskey, low wine. So this is the beer in here. The steam's been applied. We're getting that around about 72 degrees Celsius, and we should start soon seeing low wines, wheat alcohol coming off through here. So this is sort of quite an emotional moment, because this is it. We are actually distilling, and we're just waiting for the bloody stuff to arrive. It's great to see. I mean, they all seem relaxed. They're laughing. I don't know what they're laughing about. The millions we've wasted, or...
It's starting to kick into gear now, and we're nearly there. We nearly have a little bit of a flow happening, so...
Here we go. This is...
When's the floodgate open?
There we go, floods, but look, here it comes.
Flood, I want to see
No. Well done, man.
Come and smell this.
Smells good. Yeah. I was beginning to worry a bit, yeah, I have to say. Well, that's it. Nothing to it.
It's amazing to be part of it. Great team, great bunch of people. We're all after working really hard to bring it all together. So we're all as excited as each other, I think. Really enjoying it. Don't want to go home tonight.
Oh, well, that is a relief. I knew, you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to come, but...